Good evening, beautiful people of the You Create the Dream page, and welcome to Awake in the Dream. This is our fortnightly call. Do say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here because, as always, I do love to acknowledge your divine presence. If this is the first time that you are listening to me, then please say hello. Let me know where you're joining us from. So I'm going to give it a moment, make sure that all of our comments and what have you are working correctly. So today, what are we going to do there? Action needed. All right, I think I need to double check that everything is okay on the phone. All right, today we're actually going to be talking about something that touches the very core of who you are. You're basically around your personal power. So just heading over to make sure that I am live, and bugger, comments are again not working on the computer. Just need a moment to set my trusted selfie stick up and put the phone on that so that I can see all comments. Okay, good evening, beautiful people. Good evening, Marina. Good evening, Valerie. Hello, beautiful people. Alrighty, let's get this set up so that we're on our way. Hello, beautiful Rencha. Hello, Libby. How are you, gorgeous ladies? I hope you're having an amazing evening, and I hope you had a fabulous weekend. So today we're talking about the very core of who you are. We're talking about you, your self-worth, your value, your personal power, right? Your absolute right and sovereignty to live a life that honors your deepest truth. It's about loving yourself enough to make the hard choices. And it's a topic that came to mind in the shower this morning and was further confirmed by a conversation that I had during the day. And I do want you to stay with me because I'm going to start today's module talking about relationships, and then I'm going to move into work and the hard choices that sometimes have to be made. But then at the very end, I'm actually going to do a process to help you cut cords of anything that you feel is holding you back, any of the shackles that are holding you back, weighing you down. At the very end, we're going to be basically cutting away those shackles. So do stay with me. And you're going to find that you'll have lots of ahas throughout today's module, I'm sure. So this is ultimately about setting you free. So the fact is, staying in a situation that drains you, staying in a situation that depletes you, staying in a situation that costs you yourself, whether it's a toxic relationship or a job that feels like a cage, is not only exhausting, but it's incredibly toxic to your inner self. It's a toxicity that ends up leading to poor health. What it does is it eats away at you very slowly every single day. Sometimes at speed, but it eats away at you every single day. Awesome, perfect timing. Lovely. Okay, so let's start with the relationship. The heaviness in your chest, the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? We've all had those feelings throughout life. That creeping sense of dread that fills you as you wake up each morning, knowing that you're going to have to deal with something that's difficult for you. You know that staying in that situation isn't any good for you. But here's the thing, and unfortunately people stay because the thought of leaving feels terrifying. It feels safer to stay where you are because at least you know what to expect where you are, right? You've become used to it, but it's not good. It's not right. And here's something I want to tell you, and I want you to hear this from me, like with absolute clarity. Let it land. You are not meant to live a life that depletes you. That is not why you birthed into this existence. That is not your purpose. And if each and every person on this planet has a purpose, your purpose is not to live a life that depletes you. Your purpose is not to live a life in which you lose yourself. Your purpose is about you being you, the greatest version of you. You living a life of passion, of fulfillment, of purpose, of joy. You're not here to settle for survival. You're here because you're meant to thrive. And I'm here to remind each and every one of you that you are so, so very worthy of so much. You are deserving of the very best. You are deserving of a life that uplifts you, a life that reflects your true value. Hello, beautiful Jenny. How are you? So lovely to see you all here. Hello, Sylvestra. How are you? So let's talk about what's holding you back. What's really holding you back? Now, again, I'm going to start with relationships and I'll lead into work, but you're going to find that what I share with you is going to apply to something in your life. Perhaps there are friendships that you're not letting go of. Perhaps there are other people and situations that you feel you're losing yourself in. So what I have to share with you is going to apply to you, and at the end we're going to be doing a process around it. So the fact is, what is really holding you back is the fear of change. That's it. You will come up with a whole lot of reasons. You will try and justify your actions. But in fact, you have a fear of change, a fear of stepping into the unknown. That's what it truly is. But here's the thing, living in fear is not, it's not living at all. It's certainly not living your purpose. You're not here to live in fear. And what kind of life is that? What kind of life are you agreeing to for yourself? Now, it may not be fear for your safety, but living a life where you're fearful of the fact that you might never be free, that you might never feel joy, that you might never live the life of your dreams and live abundantly and healthily and all of those things. So let's look at the fairy tale versus reality of relationships, right? So let's just say you're in a toxic relationship. Maybe you've been holding on to the vision of the dream that you had. Perhaps you're holding on to the fairy tale that you built in your mind. But you have to remember that, maybe it started with passion. Maybe it started with promises and dreams and hopes and wishes and all of those things. But you have to look at where you are. And now, what are you living? Perhaps it started with those dreams and you believed it was going to be the happily ever after story, and now you find yourself living a nightmare that you're struggling to get out of. A relationship that's more draining than fulfilling, one that leaves you questioning not only relationships, but what's worse than that, it has you questioning yourself, doubting yourself, thinking that maybe you expect too much. You might be clinging to the hope that things will get better. Hello, beautiful Penny, how are you? Perhaps you're clinging to the hope that things will get better. That perhaps one day, you'll wake up, he'll wake up, she'll wake up, and your partner will change. That one day you'll finally have the relationship that you always dreamed of. But let's be honest, you have to be real. What you're living right now isn't the fairy tale. But what it is what it is. And you have to look at that. Until you acknowledge and accept what is, you won't have the clarity of mind to make the best decision for yourself. It is what it is. What are you going to do with what is? What are you going to do? You're holding on because letting go feels terrifying. The fear of the unknown is keeping you stuck, and you think that perhaps you're thinking, what if I never find somebody else? What if you regret leaving? Maybe it's better to stay with the devil, right? Like all the stories. It's better to do that than risk the unknown. Maybe you believe that you've got to stay for the kids. But is that what you want for your kids? What advice would you give your kids? But I want you to ask yourself, each and every one of you, no matter what situation you might have around you that is toxic, I want you to ask yourself, what is this relationship really costing me? So I'm asking you, what's it taking from you? Hey Greg, how are you? What's this relationship taking from you? Here you are, losing your energy, wishing for things to be different. You're losing your power, feeling weaker by the day, feeling like knowing that you are not yourself, knowing that you're not that energetic, dynamic self that came into this situation. You're losing your happiness, you're losing your health. But again, you're not here to live in fear. You're here to love and to be loved. You're not here to survive on the scraps of someone else's affection, the little bits that they'll give you every now and then, the little crumbs. You know in your heart, in your heart of hearts, you know that it's not good for you. And you know, not only is it that it's not good for you, but you, on some level, value yourself so little, so poorly, that you are choosing to let fear dictate your life. And that's what it is. We have to stop pointing the finger. We point the finger to blame everything and everyone outside of ourselves. We have three fingers pointing back at ourselves. And we have to acknowledge, for what reason is this in my life? I drew this into my life. For what reason is this in my life? What is it I'm meant to learn from this experience? And do I choose to learn? Do I choose to learn from this experience? Too often we wait for the person outside of us to change, the situation outside of us to change. But the moment we accept responsibility, the moment we realize that we are the power in this existence, that we are the power in our world, and that I can change things right here and right now, everything changes, because now you are not a victim. You are in the position of responsibility. So instead of fearing the unknown, what if you started fearing what would happen if you stayed? You want to be afraid of something? Be afraid of that. Because the days go by so quickly. The days go by so very quickly. And you'll find yourself feeling the same, if not worse, because it'll just grind away at you. Why? Because staying in situations that cost you yourself, honestly and truly, why would you stay in a situation that costs you yourself? Why would you do that? Why would you choose dying little by little each and every day? So imagine having or remembering, because you have the power, imagine remembering that you have the power to let go. Imagine that. And here's where it gets really real, right? I know you never get to a point where you want to walk away from a relationship or a job unless you have tried everything. So you've tried everything, right? It starts with the long chats. Then it starts with the tears. Then it's the begging. Then it's the screaming matches that go on, the silent treatment, all of those things. If you know in your heart of hearts that you have given it your all, that you have tried everything, then you have to understand that perhaps your partner doesn't really want to change anyway. You do these things hoping that your partner will change, hoping that they would live the potential that you see in them, hoping that things would get better. But the truth is, and this is what you really need to hear today, it is not your job to change them. The greatest change happens through inspiration. If they're inspired by you, then suddenly, you are in flow, you're energetically leading them to greatness. But it's not your responsibility to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. And that's okay. And you know why that's okay? Because they have free will and choice just like you have free will and choice. We all do. The truth is that perhaps, this is it, perhaps what you're not in love with the person themselves. You're in love with the dream. Perhaps you're in love with who they could be. The potential that you see within them. Not who they are. Not who they are now. Not who they're choosing to be. But instead, you're in love with the potential that you see in them. It's a tough one. But honestly and truly, we need to stop falling in love with people's potential. Love them enough to let them live their life their way. But here's the thing, you've got to love yourself. You've got to love yourself enough to let go. You've got to love yourself enough to live the life that you are worthy of. And you are worthy of greatness. You are worthy of living a life of love and fulfillment and joy and freedom. And yes, I know it's hard. It's never an easy decision to make. I know it is hard, and especially if you have children. But staying in a toxic relationship isn't protecting them. Hi, Anthony, how are you? Staying in a toxic relationship isn't protecting them at all. It is teaching them that it's okay to be in a relationship like this, because this is what relationships look like, and this is what you can expect when you get older. That's what you're teaching them. You think they don't know? You say, oh, but we don't argue in front of them. I don't care. You think that, I mean, my goodness, kids are so intuitive. You think that they don't feel it? You think they don't feel it because you don't yell and scream in front of them? They feel it. Children are so extraordinarily intuitive. They feel the tension. They feel the unspoken sadness in your eyes. So by staying in that situation, you're showing them that it's okay. And it's not okay. It's not okay. You're teaching them that it's normal to stay in a situation where you don't feel loved, where you don't feel appreciated, where you feel unfulfilled. And is that what you want for them? Of course not. You wouldn't want that for your children. You would want them to know their worth. You would want them to understand what a loving, healthy, fulfilling relationship looks like. And the best way that you can teach your children is by showing them. It's not about the words that you say. You show them, you lead by example. And sometimes leading by example is a tough thing, right? Sometimes it does mean walking away from what no longer serves us. And by doing that, you're not just setting yourself free, but you're freeing them as well. So I want you to look into, if you have young children and you find yourself in this situation, I want you to look into their eyes. What advice would you give them if they came to you in this same predicament? Love yourself like you love them. I need to say that again. Love yourself like you love them. So let's move on to the workplace. Well, the workplace woes, right? The jobs that you're doing day in and day out, giving so much of your life to, and the travel time involved, right? The fear of leaving the job you hate. Why? How many of you are staying in a workplace that feels so extraordinarily toxic? It feels like it's sucking the very life out of you. You wake up every morning with a sense of dread, dragging yourself out of bed to a job that doesn't fulfill you, a job that doesn't challenge you, a job that doesn't stimulate you, a job that isn't a reflection of who you are, or certainly what you're capable of. But you stay. Why? Because of stories again. We justify things. You stay because it feels safer than the unknown. The paycheck or so-called security. That security feels like a bit of a cushion, right? But what is that paycheck costing you? How many hours a day are you putting yourself in a position that is so extraordinarily depleting? And you're creating a story to justify it. Every day you feel more disconnected from yourself. And this is the thing, never ever, when people say, I just feel disconnected, like from source, from spirit, from my guidance, from magic, blah, 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 it's impossible. You cannot be disconnected from source, God, the magic that is life. It is impossible to be disconnected from that. But when you feel disconnected, The only truth is that you are disconnected from self. And you are so disconnected from self that you don't even know who you are anymore. And all of these signs, all of these feelings, and that feeling of disconnection is calling you to come back. It's calling you to come back. Hey Robin, how are you? We have another Robin. Interesting you're talking about this around me the last 3 months. Oh my goodness, okay. Valerie, I'm so happy that this is landing and something that perhaps you can suggest they watch. So, are you in a job in which you feel so disconnected, where you feel extremely drained, out of alignment with who you truly are? But what do? You tell yourself, oh, at least I have a job. At least I have security. Security is not the same as freedom. What do you want for your life? Security isn't the same as living a life that ignites your passion. And again, I said this in the very beginning, you are here to live the greatest version of you, to be you in your fullest expression, to live your purpose, your passion in incredible health and vitality. And a job that drains you is not your destiny. A job that drains you is not you living your purpose. I do crazy hours and I'm always creating new projects, even new businesses come into mind and all sorts of things. And I am thriving. I have a ton of energy. I'm never depleted. Why? Because I'm honoring me and I'm living my purpose. And for those that have ever done any work with me, you would know that our affirmation is what I do is not from me, but through me. So I'm not depleting my own organs of energy and resources, but I am connected to source. And this is what is coming through me. And everything I do is not from me, but through me. So as I give, I receive. So again, you are not here to simply survive. You are here to thrive. And if you're not thriving, you want to check in. What do I need to do to thrive? You are here to do the work that sets your soul on fire. You're here to do and be the work, because you know what? When you're being the work, you're not switching hats. I never switch hats. I am me 24/7. So it doesn't feel like I'm starting work, finishing work. I'm not ever stopping and starting anything. I am just me 24/7. I bring me in my fullness to the moment. And if you're not doing that, then you're in a tug of war, right? You're losing power to both camps. You're depleting your resources and not enough of you here in present time. So you're here to do and be the work that aligns with your gifts and your purpose. You are here to do and be the work that aligns with your gifts and your purpose, so that you can live the truest version of yourself. Not what anybody else expects you to be, not how anyone expects you to do it. So my question is, what if you chose you? What if you chose you and chose a path of freedom? How would things change? So whether you're talking about a toxic relationship or a soul-sucking job, the truth is the same. Staying isn't the safer option. Somehow or other you've convinced yourself it is. But it's not the safest option. It's actually the harder option, because you're choosing to live in the opposite of joy. You're choosing to live in the opposite of freedom, and you're choosing it. You're choosing it. That's what's draining you. Not the job, because that job is somebody's purpose and passion. Let me tell you, I hate numbers, accounting, all that stuff. I don't want to look at it. You just tell me. Give me a summarized version of where I'm at, what needs to happen. That's it. I have zero interest in anything else. But I tell you what, I have had, to every single person that has ever done any of the accounting work for me, for as long as I've been in business, and that's back in my very old life as a beauty therapist right through to now, I always say thank you. I give thanks for people like you all the time, because the very thing that I dislike is something that you are extraordinarily passionate about. You love numbers. It lights you up. It makes you feel amazing. Go you. Thank God for you, because, and thank God there are people like you, because I don't want to do anything. I have zero desire to get into the nitty gritties of that stuff. So if I can have somebody else that's going to be overseeing it, fantastic. So that very job that is dragging you down, that very job that you're hating, could be somebody else's passion. So the only thing that is keeping you stuck is your choice, you choosing to stay there. You amaze me at what you can achieve. And thank you so much, Marina. I achieve so much, and I come up with more ideas, and it's like, oh my God, I have to do that too. So at some point you have to ask yourself, how much more of this can you take? How much more can I take? How much more am I willing to take? Self-awareness is such a big, big step in personal growth, because until you're self-aware, you'll blame everything outside of you. And then when you come into a state of self-awareness, you'll realize that you are the point of attraction. That no matter what is going on, you are the point of attraction. And you being the point of attraction means that there is something for you to learn and experience in this. There is something for you to grow through in this. And what if perhaps that grow through is someone that that growth through, or that lesson is you being strong enough to stand in your purpose, have your power here in present time, and actually love, value, honor, and respect yourself enough to make a change. What if that's your purpose? I'll tell you what, and when you do it, you'll always wish you did it sooner, because now you realize that you can do it. And now you're not afraid of doing the hard things. Now you're not afraid of standing in your power and honoring yourself. So yes, leaving is scary, but staying is scarier. Hi, Kira, how are you? Staying is scarier. Yes, stepping into the unknown can feel terrifying. But let me ask you, what's scarier? What is scarier? The fear of the unknown, or the fear of staying where you are and slowly losing yourself? Which one's scarier? Because let me tell you, that's what's happening. Every single day you are losing more and more of yourself. So imagine for a moment what it would feel like to finally wake up and feel light again. Imagine what it would feel like to wake up and feel alive and fresh and light, and to just wake up knowing that you've chosen yourself, that you've chosen to honor yourself. And the crazy thing is, and the beautiful thing is, that when you love and value yourself, when you truly value yourself, suddenly the world values you too. It's instantaneous. You value you stand in your power, and the world will value you. So imagine what it'd be like to choose freedom. Imagine what it would be like to choose joy. Can you feel it? Can you feel that the weight would lift off your shoulders when you finally decide to step out of that self-imposed prison? It's self-imposed. A self-imposed prison of fear. When you step through that and into the light that is your own power, what would it feel like to walk away from that job that's draining you, and instead walk into a life that is extraordinarily fulfilling? Imagine what it would feel like to be living your purpose and your passion, doing what you love each day. What would it feel like to leave that toxic relationship that's been suffocating you and finally create space for the love that you deserve? Because you've got to create space for the love that you deserve. And I mean that literally. I'll often have women that have been single for a while, and they'll say to me, oh, I'm having trouble attracting a guy. And I said, do you have, I always say to them, do you have your personal stuff in the side tables on both sides of the bed? And they go, yeah. Okay, you've got to empty one. He doesn't need much space, but he needs space. So you need to create space to have somebody amazing in your life. If you don't have space, there's no space. But I'm asking you all, what is it you choose now? What is it you choose now? And it's not necessarily it doesn't have to be that a relationship is holding you down or your workplace is holding you down. But what are the situations in your life where you feel that you're losing your power? What are they? And what are you going to choose now? Because we're going to be doing a process in a moment. So it's time to stop letting fear dictate your life. It's time to stop settling for far less than you deserve. Why? Because you deserve so much more. You are worthy of a life filled with joy and passion and love and purpose. And you can have it, but first you've got to choose you. You can't pray for it to come. I don't care how much you pray, it's not going to come. It may visit you for a moment, but it'll go because you're not a vibrational match for it. And if you're not a vibrational match for it, it can't stay. But it's up to you to hold that vibration, to hold that frequency, to be the magnet for it so that it comes, so that it sticks. You have to choose you first. Loving yourself enough to walk away isn't selfish. It's actually one of the toughest things and one of the most courageous things, one of the most courageous things that you will ever do. Because when you choose yourself, you are declaring, not just to the job, not just to the relationship, you are declaring to the world and to yourself that I am freaking worthy. That I am enough and I deserve the very best. I choose me. And when you do that, the world hears you and the world will reflect that back at you. So repeat after me, I am worthy. I am enough. I am deserving of the very best. And here, right now, I choose to stand in my power and I claim it. I claim it. And breathe that truth into every cell of your being. Feel the power of those words. Because honestly and truly, you are enough. Hi Shelley, how are you? You are enough, and the time to choose you isn't tomorrow. The time to choose you is now. Right now. Right here, right now, you have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to walk away from all that no longer serves you. Whatever that situation is, you have the power to change it now. You have the power to walk away and to step into a life, the life that you were meant to live. Because this is your moment. It's your life. It's not somebody else's life. It's your life. So don't wait. Don't doubt. You just have to choose you. Okay, so we're going to do a process. If you're driving, please do this process perhaps later. If you're in the comfort of your own home or safe environment, then what I would like you to do is simply close your eyes. Now, unfortunately, I can't play music because I have the comments coming up on the phone. But what I'd like you to do is take a moment to simply close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale. And again, a deep breath in, and exhale. I'm just focusing on your breathing, nice, slow, deep breaths. And I want you to take a moment to think about a bothersome situation in your life. It might be work, it might be relationships, it may be anything at all. But whatever it is, I want you to take a moment to think about it. And think about where it's at right now, how it is right now. And now I want you to imagine yourself standing in front of a mirror. And in that mirror, the reflection in that mirror is you looking at you. But now I want you to imagine that if you make no changes today, if you choose to keep on living day in and day out the same way, having the same thoughts, the same feelings, taking the same actions, all of those things, if nothing changes today, in that reflection in the mirror, I want it to reveal to you how you would feel, how you would look, and how your life would be 6 months from now. Having made absolutely no changes today, how would you feel? How would you look? How would life be 6 months from now? And how about 12 months from now? Having made no changes. Having made no changes, look at that version of you. How are you standing? How are you feeling? How are you feeling in the pit of your stomach? What's your world look like 12 months from now? Let's jump 2 years. 2 years from now, having made no changes. Having made no changes at all. How would you feel? How would your life look 2 years from now? And you can let that vision go for the moment and see yourself back in front of the mirror. And I want you to imagine that right here, right now, tonight, you do this process with me, and you do this process with 100% commitment to change, 100% commitment to choosing you. Looking at that reflection in the mirror, and notice 2 months from now, just 2 months from now, how would you feel? How would you look? How would you be standing? What would your world look like 2 months from now if you made the necessary changes today? Are you breathing easier? Are you breathing deeper? Do you feel lighter? Notice all the things. And now 6 months from now, if you make those simple changes today, if you choose you today, if you do this process with me today, and you honor and you take action, you follow through, how would you feel? How would life be 6 months from now? What would it look like? 12 months from now, how would it look? How would you feel? Feel the feelings, breathe them in, and 2 years from now, having made changes today, having made a commitment today to choose yourself, how would you feel? How would you look? How would you stand? How would life be for you? And you see right here, right now, you get to make a choice. You either choose you, or you go back to being how things have always been. And assuming that you're choosing you, and for those of you that are choosing you, I now want you to imagine that right there in front of you, you see a vision of you standing there on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, you see a vision of the situation. The person, the place, the situation, whatever it is. I want you now to imagine that you have golden thread in your hands. And with that golden thread, you're going to do the infinity symbol, effectively putting a bubble around you and around the situation. So you're going to wrap that golden thread. It's like the figure 8 on its side around you and around the situation. 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 You'll keep on going. Keep on going with that golden thread. Around you and around the situation. Now just look at it. 2 separate situations joined in the center. And now I want you to become aware of the energetic core. It's almost like tentacles that are attached from the situation to you, or from you to it. Noticing all those cords. And we don't do this with any aggression, but we do it with love, because we're choosing to love ourselves enough to move forward. We're choosing to love ourselves enough to let go. We're choosing ourselves. And I want you to imagine that you either have a golden sword or a golden pair of scissors, and right there at that join where the 2 bubbles meet, I want you to cut. I simply let you go. I set myself free. I set you free. I set myself free. I set you free. Cut it and watch them separate. And now I want you to visualize yourself in a beautiful violet flame. A violet flame that's burning away any little bits of those attachments or tentacles. It's burning them away, ensuring that you are clear, ensuring that you are set free. Because you, beautiful one, you let go of all people, things and experiences that are no longer part of your divine destiny. And we ask that they let go of you too. No attachments, absolute freedom for all. Freedom to live a life of purpose, of joy, of great health. Visualize yourself in that flame, divine one. You are a being of violet fire. You are the purity God desires. That's right, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. And you feel that flame burning away all that no longer serves you. As we again affirm, I let go of all people, things and experiences that are no longer part of my divine destiny, and I ask that they let go of me too. I move forward easily. I move forward easily. And I ask that in the coming days that I be shown proof in the physical. Proof in the physical that I have moved forward. Proof in the physical that ties are cut. Proof in the physical that I am free. Proof in the physical that I am not alone. Proof in the physical of my next best step. And so it is done, and so it is done, and so it is done. And when you're ready, giving thanks, we always give thanks, taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, opening your eyes. Welcome back. And hello, Alicia, how are you? I would love for you to share how that experience was for you. Pretty sure I've said hello to everybody. I do try and say hi to everybody. I'd love for you to share how that experience was for you. And I want to leave you with a reminder that you are the power in your world, and that great things will come to you, for you, when you choose you, because you are here to be you. You are here to be the greatest version of you. You are here to live a life of purpose and fulfillment and passion, and that equates to amazing health, energy, and vitality. Choose you. Love, value, and respect yourself, and the world will suddenly love, value, and respect you just as much. Rencha, amazing. Marina, that was very interesting. Ooh, Marina, I look forward to hearing more. Libby, amazing. Hello, Angela, how are you? Beautiful. Wishing you all the most amazing, amazing evening. And hey, Kylie, how are you? Need to do the replay. Enjoy when you do. Hey, Kerry, how are you? Oh, Kerry, I choose me. Yay, that's what I want to hear. You are so very welcome. You are so very welcome. During the violet fire, I felt so hot. I actually feel really hot too. That's do you want that? Because we're hot. Because we're hot. All right. Much love to you all, and I look forward to seeing you at our next Awake in the Dream call in 2 weeks. Have a fabulous evening. Good night.